Talk a little bit about the mechanics of shooting. I'm not big on necessarily form. There are many people with different forms. Oftentimes it boils down to what's comfortable for you and paying attention to details, being consistent with your shot, constantly working on it over and over again. But there are some things that you want to keep in mind when you're shooting. You definitely want to keep in mind your follow through, the arc of the shot, the feel of the shot, all of those things. So for me, this is what I do. I make sure that my hand is not too close, right? Because it's important not only from the position when somebody's guarding you, because it's easy to slap the ball out your hand, but I like to, and I don't want it too spread out because that's unnecessary tension. I want it to be comfortable. So for me, it's just a natural spread on the ball when I'm shooting. Also, what I keep in mind, I'm not having flat palms on the ball, right? Because then you end up shooting more with your palms. I like to have some type of small gap in between it because that's where the control comes from. If I'm here, flat-footed, it's loose. So I like to have a small gap to where I'm palming it. So it's a nice spread on the ball. This offhand is very important. This is the shooting hand, obviously, all right? Another thing, people get caught up with the seams, all right? Okay, in the beginning, maybe it's important, all right? Because you want to look at the follow through of that shot. You want a nice follow through. The follow through softens the shot up a little bit, as opposed to not having that follow through. So if it hits the rim, there's a chance that it may hug around that rim a little bit and go in on occasion. But the nature of the game, how the ball comes to you, that's really not important. Whether I catch it here or here, you want your hand to be placed in the right area. And I know I'm going to be giving you a lot. So with me, one of the things is having a nice spread, a comfortable spread. As it pertains to this offhand, I don't want the offhand too close because again, the grip is not the same. I don't want it too far underneath. For me, I kind of like it about right here, right? That's comfortable for me. So I still got it. If you try to swipe it out, that bottom part of the hand is protecting that somewhat. And I like the left hand also to have a nice spread on it, not to be too wide to where I'm gripping it and feels like I'm holding the ball and not wanting to let it go, and not too close. And so, and also what I'm thinking about when I'm shooting, I want to have, and this is the beginning stages, I want to have a nice spread with my legs. I don't want to be too wide. I don't want to be too close. Like shoulder width apart to create a balance, okay? The elbows, I don't want the elbows out because oftentimes when you're here, the release, you're gonna have to release a little bit sooner. You're not gonna have the full follow through because if I'm here and I shoot a full follow through, the ball's gonna go this way. So I'm taking my elbow, and I always want my elbow to be in line no matter where. If I'm coming here, my elbow's in line. If I'm coming here, my elbow's in line with the basket all the time. So I'm going to shoot a free throw to start off. So again, we talked about the right spread on the ball, right? On both hands. You're going to often end, when you're shooting the ball, you're going to often end, the last finger is going to be that index finger when it's all said and done. And my index finger is always pointed toward the basketball goal. So I got a nice spread on the ball. I have a nice shoulder width apart. And then I'm always focusing on what? The elbow, focusing on the shot. And then the release. I want the release. You want to get a full follow through. Backspin on the shot. Keep that follow through up. For me, when I'm shooting, what I'm looking at, some people look at the front of the rim, some people look at the back of the rim. I kind of look over the top toward the back inside because practicing out a lot by myself, I want the ball to come back to me constantly. When you're developing a jump shot, when you're developing free throws, anytime you're shooting the ball, one of the keys is after finding out what's comfortable for you, the technique that works for you. It's about doing it over and over again. Paying attention to details, because some of the greatest shooters, you'll find that they shoot the same shot all the time, whether they're fading, leaning, going straight up, on the move, spot shooting. It's the same release, the same form, muscle memory. Shooting hundreds and hundreds of shots every day and trying to stay focused on that shot. For me, in the NBA, I was blessed to be able to have like a 95, 96% free throw shooting percentage. And this is the level that you want to get on when you're practicing your shot. If you're by yourself, it's not enough to shoot 50%, 60%. Of course, you're trying to shoot 100. That's the goal. But if you can get around to where you're shooting 80%, 90% when you're shooting by yourself, in the basketball game, it's always going to be reduced because you have factors such as defense, right? Fatigue, right? They're pressuring you. There's fouls that are not called, so that percentage is going to go down somewhat.